Right, well, good afternoon everybody. Once again, I finally managed to get up the plot. It's a little bit cooler today than what it's been of late. I don't know where this camera's going like, but it's certainly not in the position that I would like it. Right, here we are. A lot of comments online again. As I promised in the next video, I was going to do some cuttings on herbs and of course get on to tomatoes. Our tomatoes this year, once again, are growing away fantastic. As you can see, these are Spanish ones. Absolutely great. Over the moon with them. Down at the bottom, on the bottom trusses, there's some nice fruits. But at this time of the year, what I like to do is to start giving it the old chop, and that's just going through them from top to bottom. I normally start with the bottom trusses and just cut my way through. Any of the leaves that's lying over the sides, you can just cut away, as long as you leave enough on what to do the business, which is of course the photosynthesis. The bottom leaves have done that trick. They've taken all the goodness out of the sunshine, and that's what it's all about. Now, as you cut away, here's a prime example. That's a sucker from the bottom. That's one that I did miss. Julian Callahan was mentioning the other day on a plot about his tomatoes. Now, tomatoes they're not prone to being disease free. They do get quite a few problems. But as I say, if you keep on top of your plants and just a few basic steps of keeping them clean, then you should have a good crop. Main thing is your watering. Well, I always say the watering of tomatoes is paramount. A lot of people lose tomatoes more often through underwatering than overwatering. Underwatering can cause that many problems. As I say, blossom end rot. A lot of people put that down to magnesium deficiency. Well, there again, yeah, of course it is. But if you're underwatering and your plants aren't being able to take the water up, they're not being able to take the nutrients out of the soil to feed them. So once again, magnesium deficiency, you'll end up with blossom end rot. I'm quite lucky here. We've got good deep beds, good 18 inches to 2 foot deep. If we do skip watering for a day, or maybe it's even 2 days, there's no way the plants are going to suffer, because down below they're going to send their taproots down, and them taproots are going to be on 2 foot in the ground, and there's plenty of moisture down there, so really they're not going to suffer. If you've got tomatoes in pots, it's a totally different ball game, you know, because pots do dry out a lot quicker than what your soil does. So again, you've got to be on top of your game there. Then again, there's overwatering. You can overwater tomatoes. If you haven't got a good drainage system, you've got a good heavy clay soil or good, you know, peaty soil, and it's holding the water, that again can cause you problems. You must have a good drainage. So you know, you've got to have you've got to be careful with your mixes. And that's why I always like to add a good bit of sharp sand in my mixes. It keeps them well free draining. So that takes away the problem of overwatering. But as I say, these are looking really healthy. Now, Julian was on about the suckers. Now, these are the Spanish variety, and what I like to do here on one of these plants, now it's a multi-headed one, especially looking at this one here. Now, that's a prime example there. I never take the suckers away until they get a decent size. When I'm working my way up the plant, I like to see exactly where they are. If it is a multi-head, I'll leave it, because these are prone to going blind, some of these heads. If you nip them off too quickly, it'll go blind, and what you'll end up with is a stumped tomato. You'll have no extra shoots to take off to grow onto the main stem unless you're using a sucker. So that's why I like to leave the suckers in as long as I can. That's a prime example at the top there. That's a nice big fat sucker there. But the header plant, the main stem has grown away really well, and it's got a good truss on there just coming out, so I can just nip away that sucker. A lot of people say, oh, that sucker's a bit too big to take off, but it's not. You just go easy with it and just work backwards and forwards, and it'll just snap away. And there again, I've got a nice big head there, which is going to flower up to here. Now, once I get up to this height here, I'll nip them. They've only got another 6 inches to go, so I'm quite pleased with that. And I think I counted 1, 2, 3, 4. There's going to be 5 trusses on there. Plenty for me. for the Spanish, because they're nice big tomatoes. What I also like to do is to prune the trusses. Now this truss down here on the bottom here, I'll just take that leaf out the road. As I say, the bottom leaves don't matter so much. They've done their job. As I say, photosynthesis, they've done that. They've helped the plant regain their strength, and then we're left with a big truss on the bottom here. So what I like to do is I like to go through them, and there's quite a few tomatoes in that truss, and the way it's coming away there at the end, the small tomatoes on there, I just like to nip that truss off, and that's just at the end there. There's a couple of flowers, and there's a couple of little premature tomatoes on there. Now the rest are all quite a good size on that truss, so what I like to do is just to nip them off, and leave it a nice truss with some good tomatoes on. As I say, some of the leaves that's hanging over the front, I like to cut away because I don't like too much in the dark. And there again, there's another good sucker there. Main stem growing away nicely, just nip him away. So we've got two full stems on that one plant. And if I just go in there again, any leaves that's crisscrossing in the centre, so they're not getting the fresh air through, take them out. So I'm quite happy with that one. It's got two nice stems. I've taken quite a few of the leaves away, and the fruit's just nicely setting there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 trusses on there alone, and some really nice big tomatoes, so I'm over the moon with them. And what I'm going to do here, I'm going to prune this back truss away, because there's a nice big tomato on there, and some smaller leaves amongst it. So to me, that's no good whatsoever. So I'll nip that off. There's two nice really big tomatoes on there, on that one truss, so I'm quite happy with them. As I say, if I've got 5 trusses on the plant, and it's a double-headed, and we'll end up with about 9 trusses just in that small plant, and with it being a nice big tomato, I don't want them getting any bigger than that. So as I say, I'll work my way through them this afternoon. Once again, this one here, nice big sucker. Make sure the head's grown away nice and free. You've got a nice big head there. Suckers off. As I say, I'm never in a hurry to start nipping them off, and as I come to that truss there, I work my way through that. I don't like taking too many leaves away, but as I say, the ones I want to get out the road, the branches I want to get out the way, if they're crisscrossing the trusses, like that one is there, you need to get them out the way. So we're going to nip that one out, and that frees up that truss there. It's a lovely big truss. In fact, I may take that one out and all, because there's a lovely big truss just inside of there. And that leaf can come off. And there again, if you can see that one, there's a lovely big truss here with 2 lovely big tomatoes, and then it's a spindly growth onto there. Nip that off. So what we have there on that truss is 3 lovely big tomatoes, which I'm well chuffed with that. That's the end of the truss, so it's not going to come to anything. You get a few infertile small tomatoes at the end, but nip them away. And that's what it's all about. It's opening up your canopy, letting the fresh air through, and then, as I say, just trimming down your trusses. Now that to me is perfect. There's plenty of light getting through there now. There's still plenty of leaves on the top, which they'll stop on now until we get up to here. I'm well chuffed with them. There's a few leaves starting to yellow here, which is what Julian was on about. Now, leaves will get yellow as they get older, towards the bottom of the plant, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. And the way I always combat mine is, of course, to get the old Epsom salts out. Now, a lot of people asking, once again, it's magnesium, and Epsom salts is absolutely fantastic for that, for putting it back in your soil. Now, you don't have to go too heavy on it. If you just got a small spray, a small spray would be fantastic. Warm water and a teaspoon to a spray like that. Teaspoon of Epsom salts, warm water, give it a good shake up, let it cool down, make sure the salt's well, and then you can give them a good spray of that. Or you can get yourself a decent sized jug, and to that jug I'll put just a little tablespoon into that one, or a watering can. If you're going to give them a good soaking, I'll put 2 tablespoons into a watering can and give them a good soak with that. And you only have to do that once a month, and that'll give you all the magnesium you want back in your plants, and it'll keep them nice and healthy. As well as the tomatoes, peppers. Now peppers, once they start growing, peppers and chilies, I love it. They like plenty of magnesium. So once again, I will spray up like that, bit of warm water, fill it up, and just a teaspoon of Epsom salts in there, and spray your peppers and your chilies, and it's absolutely fantastic. It'll fatten them, crop up no end, it'll keep it nice and clean, nice and free. Slugs, Epsom salts, can't beat it. If you've got a favourite plant that it's getting attacked by slugs, just get a handful of Epsom salts and put a sprinkling around the roots, not actually on the roots, on the plant, but just away, just a round circle around it, and that'll keep the slugs away. But as I say, it's a great idea. Once again, on your feeding. Now all I'm feeding mine at the moment is because the tomatoes are just starting to come on, I've been feeding them a nettle juice. The last couple of weeks I've had, at least once a week they've had a good drink of that. Now the tomatoes are just starting to fatten up nicely now, so we're going to change to a potash. And what I did yesterday, I brought in the 3 comfrey plants from out of the garden. I've cut all the comfrey off and it's all in the bottom barrel now. We'll get that stirring up, and within a few days the water will turn nice and black, and then we can start feeding that, or we can use a seaweed fertiliser. They've had a sprinkling of seaweed fertiliser, just the dry stuff that I had left over from last year. They had a little sprinkling of that, but to me they're healthy enough, you know, that they're not lacking in any feed. There's enough feed in the boxes to keep them ticking over, and all I have to do is just give them a supplementary feed once a week, and to me they're as healthy as anything. I'm over the moon with them this year. No doubt Roger will be looking forward to his Spanish tomatoes, because he loves these. All I've got to do is work my way through with the next hour, go right through the whole bed, chopping all these suckers off. There's an abundance of cuttings coming off there. Some of them you can root away again. A lot of people have said they can root suckers away and they grow away to a nice strong plant. Well, if you're short of plants, that's the way to do it. Get yourself a sucker, nice cool area, shaded area, stick it in the ground and it'll root away, and you get yourself a free tomato plant. But as I say, I like growing all the way from seed. Where the camera is sitting at the moment, it's sitting in the main bed of tomatoes. If I just swing it around, you can see what Moneymaker tomatoes up here. We've got a few Greek tomatoes over the back end, and I think there's a couple of American ones over the back end there. Now, the American ones are exactly the same as what the Spanish ones are. The multi-headed, as you can see, there's 2 heads here. Now I like to have them multi-headed because you get a nice heavy crop. As you see by them trusses, a really nice heavy trusses here. I'm over the moon with them. But yeah, the Moneymaker crop's absolutely fantastic. I'll show you the tomatoes in the fort tunnel, in the fort greenhouse, sorry, which is where I've got all the ones that people sent us up from different parts of the country. We'll pop in there and have a little look at them, and then we'll get down and we'll take a few herb cuttings. Okay. Right, well, here we are, and now these are all the tomatoes that I've started from seed that different people have sent us from around the country. Now down the bottom there's some giant ones, and the second one up is a Russian and Azachoka, as I think it was called. Just going to have a quick look, because as I say, I put all the labels on the top of the tomatoes so I didn't, if they get lost from underneath, which they tend to do when you start weeding out, you tend to lose them. Now these are nearly at the top there. That one's a tying in. Now that's an ox heart, that one. And once again, down at the bottom, there's a few suckers, not many. And I haven't brought me scissors through with us, but I can shortcut them. You don't have a pair of scissors handy. It's always handy to have a standing knife, something nice and clean that you can just nip the lower leaves away. Up to, there we are. Nip away the leaves up till the bottom truss, and then you can throw around your truss. That's it. Quite a few nice tomatoes come on here. I've never grown these before, like I have with the Spanish, so I know exactly how the Spanish before. So what I'm going to do with these, I'm just going to leave them tomatoes on there to fatten up a little bit before I start doing any pruning around the bushes. Now, there's a nice big truss there. Once again, there's 2 big tomatoes on there. So I think what will happen with this truss here, a lot of these flowers that's on the end, They will be pollinated, but you'll get a premature little tomato on the end of them. So what I like to do is I like to just go around with the trusses and cut them tomatoes off. But to me, that's grown nice and strong. And of course we've got a few marigolds down on the bottom there, keeping them nice and clean, which I'm well pleased with. And once again, there's a double headed there, so I'm going to have to keep an eye on that one. I might have to tie that in. There's one or two suckers on it, just starting up here. As I say, I'm never in a hurry to take the suckers off because depending on what the variety is, actually has a chocker there. So I want to try and keep them for seed and keep some seed off them for next year. And as I get further, there's two as a chocker, so yeah, I'm pleased with them. I think they were from Rod Halliwell, so I'm looking forward to getting some nice ones from there. Farther up, we've got a couple of Zenith there. Yeah, looking quite well. This bed here is really in need of a good weeding out and a good clean back, so I'm gonna spend a good couple of hours this afternoon just working my way through these tomatoes. They've been cold and damp. Now here I've got the honey boat squash that I'm trying this year. Now what I might do this year, or next year, sorry, is I might incorporate this in the Three Sisters because it's doing exactly what I needed to do, in which is completely cover the bed. It's growing through really well. They're getting quite a size. There's a few flowers in them, but this is what I was expecting from the Three Sisters. Was they completely cover the bottom canopy. I've got a couple of small pumpkins up here, but they're doing exactly the same thing. Now, they nearly covered the centre of this trench here, so all the bottom canopy is going to be covered in leaves. And what it'll do is it'll shade it, it'll keep it nice and moist, retain a lot of the moisture, and keep a lot of the weeds down. And that's the whole idea of the Three Sisters challenge, is to keep a nice canopy on the bottom so it reduces the watering, and as I say, it keeps the moisture in where you need them. Now these plants up here, there's a couple of large orange up here, which are I'm definitely going to have to start on. There's one or two of them need tying up, so I've got to spend a good hour working my way down this road, taking all the bottom shoots off, cutting away whatever leaves is necessary, tying them in, and then I'll give them a good feed this afternoon with nettle juice, and I'm over the moon with them. And of course that's all the different varieties that have been sent around here from around the country. As I say, I've got a large orange here, got a yellow pear there. I've got a Cedrico, two Cedricos, I've got a yellow pear there, and then I'm back to the Zenith, and of course I've got a Hillbilly over there. But if you recognise the strains, and you recognise the ones that you send as well, I've got a list somewhere down home. No doubt I'll get it out one of these days and have a look and see who sent us what. But yeah, for the time being, I'm over the moon the way things are growing up here. As I say, the honey boat squash are doing their job. Are really covering that bottom canopy, and I'm over the moon with that. But that's the whole idea of the Three Sisters challenge. If you get a good canopy like that, good covering, once everything's grown up a height, it's not gonna harm that. Once everything's up and through, like I say, get your peas up on your sweet corn, and then put your melons or squashes or whatever in last, and they'll cover the whole canopy. But they're working great in here, and that's what I'll probably use them next year in the bottom tunnel or the top tunnel, when we'll put our sweet corn in there. But yeah, I'm over the moon with that. But once again, as I say, tomatoes, you get quite a few problems. Fresh air, even on a cold day like today, it's freezing outside, the wind's blowing, but I've got the windows open, I've got the doors open at the top, and there's plenty of fresh air blowing through here. And I think fresh air is one of your, a good airflow is one of your high priorities for your tomatoes, keeping them nice and fit, nice and clean. You know, if you've got good airflow, you're very likely to start getting diseases, molds, funguses, stuff like that, blight. Just plenty of fresh air around your plants, and it'll keep them nice and clean. Now we're lucky up here, touch wood, I don't think I've had a case of blight up here for years on our tomatoes. And if you can just see out that window there, that's what. Well, main crop potatoes are about 3 foot high there now, and they're absolutely fantastic. Now it's warm, it's humid at times, it's been raining, so that's a perfect condition for your blight. But as I say, if you just keep your crops nice and clean, especially at tomatoes, getting plenty of fresh air, hopefully you shouldn't have any problems with that. But that's it, tomatoes. As I say, I'm going to give them a good feeding of nettle juice now. That's the only thing they'll get. And I'll give them a good spraying with Epsom salts, and hopefully that'll boost them up to no ends. But I'm well chuffed the way the greenhouse is grown this year. So as I say, we'll pop down and start taking a few cuttings from these from the herbs, and we'll finish off the video. Okay. See you all again soon. Right, well, good afternoon everybody. Hopefully I can get finished this off today. It's another lovely sunny day here in the northeast. I'm starting way down home because I want to crack on with some cuttings, and of course it's the perfect time now. We're in the midsummer, so I can start before I start cutting the plants back. I want to get a few bits and pieces sorted out, a bit of sand, a bit of compost, and of course my rooting powder. These are my melons down home. As I say, this is the ring culture pot that I was showing in the other video. It's just a little grow bag. What you can do if you got like a bench that I've got here, a heating bench, what you can do is put your grow pots on gravel. I used to use it quite a few years ago for ring culture method, and I found it quite good. Bottomless pots, and you're watering everything from down below on the gravel, and of course I never got any diseases or anything. And yeah, I used to get some good crops. So next year, what I'm hoping to do is to build a ring culture bench, and I'll show you exactly how I grow my tomatoes and my cucumbers and that. But yeah, this is my Charleston grey melons. I've got 4 of these in the greenhouse, and what I'm intending to do is to get them trailed all the way along here over onto the back bench, and hopefully we'll get some nice melons off them. I was posting the other night on the Facebook page again, the basket challenge. Well, there's mine. As a guy, I give mine a good turn every other day. Just one turn to the side, and it gets a full rotation throughout the week, so that there's nothing growing uneven. You get a nice even display from all sides of the basket. Well chuffed for that. I've still got me wellies to fix and to fill up. I must bring a couple of geraniums down and get them filled up. I think that's about my last job doing here, but I'm over the moon. At the moment, this is what I'm planning on doing today. I've got my herb bed here, our molasses herb bed. We've got our mint, we've got our sage, we've got rosemary, we've got thyme. I'll be taking cuttings from all these today, and it's a simple job to take cuttings, nothing hard. We'll just get some nice young shoots like that there, nice young shoots. We'll knit them off, and we'll place them in a bit of heating sand, nice sharp sand, a good free draining mixture, and I'll go into the thyme. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful, the smell and that, and I'll be able to pick a few young shoots in there, and we'll get some of them rooted off. And of course the mint's easy. If you don't want to take cuttings with the mint, the best thing to do is at the end of the year is to go down to the pot and pull some of the root out, and it's quite easy to do, just to root the mint off. And of course with your sage, once again we'll go and get some nice young cuttings. That's perfect, that's something like that. Nice new shoot with a couple of little, we'll nip it off there, pull them bottom leaves off, and that little piece will go in. But we'll do that in a minute. As I say, the pots in the baskets are all filled, so I'm over the moon with that. And of course, what I'll be starting on soon is the seed sown, seeding seed. And of course, this is the Antirrhinum, Snapdragon, as I like to call the old-fashioned names. And I've got some absolutely lovely seed pods on there now. Over the moon with them. I'll be saving seed from them. It's a good variety, nice deep red. And I'll be saving seed from them, so I'll be keeping an eye on the pods before they start busting, and to put them into a bag. And of course here's the old calendula, of course the pot marigold. Now these you've got to be very careful with. If you can see, here, this seed head is just finished off there, and you see how easy they come away. Now what I'm going to do with them, I'm going to try and save some of them. I'm going to dry them out and see if I can make some sort of a juice for spraying on the plants next year, and which will leave a scent. As I say, most bugs hate the smell of the marigolds, so I'm just going to try that and see what it turns out like. And of course there's the seed head there, fantastic looking seed head. But you've got to keep an eye on these, because once they pop, they'll turn brown and black, the seeds, within a few days. So you've just got to catch them well on. Now that's perfect. That's lovely. cracking head of seed there, so I'll just keep an eye on them ones. And as soon as they turn black, of course, we'll nip them off and put them away in a jar, and we've got some nice flowers for next year. I'm intending to grow a load of these next year, these calendulas. Absolutely fantastic. And of course, here's one of my old favourite bushes here. The bees absolutely love these. It's absolutely full of bees at times. It's a nice green one, nice evergreen. You get loads of berries in it, and the bees just love it. But keep an eye on that. I'll take a few cuttings from there. And of course, over here I've got the yellow one. I've got the yellow calendula, and there's 3 or 4 good seed heads here that I'm keeping an eye on. And once they turn black, like you say, once they get ripe, there's about 6 heads on there. Now, out of them 6 heads, you should get a couple of 100 seed. But it's an absolutely stunning plant. I love it. So I will be saving the seed off there. As I say, our Lasses roses are coming out absolutely beautiful. I'm over the moon with them. First class. And of course the delphiniums I posted the other night again on the internet. They're getting taller than me now. They've been getting bigger and bigger each year. As I say, I love growing delphiniums. And they're quite an easy plant to grow. And these are some of the perennials I put in this year. The seedlings, the foxgloves, they were sown the back end of last year. And the lupins were sown the back end of last year. And of course the daisies were sown the back end of last year. So, you know, they've all come through now. All given their show in the garden. And of course, a packet of seeds will cost you coppers, a couple of pounds, and you get hundreds of worthwhile plants to give away to family and friends, and of course enough to fill your garden up. And that's what it's all about. It's saving a few bob. But yeah, I'm over the moon with that. So we're going to nip a few herbs off, get in the greenhouse. I'm just busy keeping an eye on them bees. They just love going in and out here. I love watching them getting drunk in the nectar and falling over. It's absolutely fantastic. And of course, this is a cotoneaster. It's quite an easy bush to grow. Like I say, it's an evergreen, and you can't take cuttings from this. What I normally do is, before I clip it back, I leave them grow out a little bit, get a little bit length on them, then you can just nip them off, and you can make a nice little cutting off that, just strip them back. I will do a few cuttings at the back end of the year for that. I say it's a cotoneaster. It's absolutely fantastic. If you want bees in the garden, it's an evergreen shrub. You get some lovely berries on it, so it's you know, you get some all-round colour and interest from it. It's absolutely beautiful bush. Well over the moon, that. Right, so as I say, it's a nice sunny day. So what I don't want to do is to spend too much time in that greenhouse. But as I say, I'll nip a few buds off these cuttings here, and we'll get stuck in. Get a bit of sand and a bit of compost made up, and I'll change the camera over, and we'll get cracking on some of these cuttings. Okay. Hi everybody. Well, I've managed to pull myself back inside and try and get this video finished off. It's a lot cooler here in the northeast. When I was doing the filming yesterday, it was absolutely boiling hot, and them greenhouses up the tunnels up the allotment, so I had to come away and never managed to get the video finished off. But as I say, I'm back down home now. I've managed to get myself a little mix-up made up, and of course it's my own compost, but with another handful of sharp sand and a handful of perlite. So it's a really free draining mixture, really nice and loose, and that's the ideal pot mix for my herbs. And of course it's an easy enough job to do these. There's nothing difficult about it. If you get some nice fresh growth, that's all you need. And I just use a basic root and hormone compound, a little dibber. So see, I fill the pots up with just a quarter of an inch below the rim, and I make sure that it dibbers right in, so I can get it as far down as I can, more or less. If you pick a piece about 3 inches long, 4 inches long, and then strip away about 1.5 inches to 2 inches if the bottom leaves. It's an easy job to do. Just rip them away, pop it in, and just make sure you've got that compost tied in around them bottom roots. Will be fine. As I say, it's quite an easy job just to pull away the roots. If there's a little bit of a knuckle on the bottom, or a ragged edge, it's easy enough to get a sharp pair of scissors and go to the next node. You can quite easily see where you pulled them away from, and just nip it off, and give give yourself a nice clean route to fit into the holes. And my camera's just there. Shut away again. Put it back where it should be. As I say, it's quite an easy job, just to double them in, and I'll give them a nice drink of water and finish this. As I say, tomatoes are great, but when you get herbs to go with them, well, it's a totally different story. Garlic. People like garlic with tomatoes. I've just started lifting some of our garlic from the allotment, and I'll show you some of them in the next video. And of course, I'm going to be lifting the first of my spring onions, my Japanese onions. That's the overwinter ones. I'm going to be lifting them next week, and we'll find maybe some small turnips or some extra people to put in. But yeah, well, there's my first pot. All it needs is a good watering, and of course it'll go under the bench, out the direct sunshine. And what I like to do is just put them in a small propagator. I think that camera's dropped again. It must be holding up properly. But what I'll do is I get a propagator, a nice clean tray, put the propagator lid on, and put the pots inside and give them a good soak with a bit of fresh water. Normally I've got all my gear sorted out, but tonight I've been a little bit late in getting things organised. I'm just going to pop some water on them. Rosemary. As I say, herbs are fantastic. They don't need a lot looking after. As I say, most herbs grow on the rocky outcrops of mountain sides and hillsides, so very basic. They don't need a lot of feeding. And that's why I tend not to do too much with my herb bed. It just gets a basic feed, and there we are. There's a spray up. Just give them a nice spray, and he'll sit into the propagator. And of course, my other favourites, is a sage. And once again with a sage, just a sharp knife, and there's a nice little cut in there. And all I'm going to do is just take it right from the bottom, take them 2 leaves off. And there's a perfect little cut in there. Bit of root and hormone powder, once again. Place it well in, so it's right up to the leaves. There's nothing difficult about taking cuttings. If you've got the right material. Now that one there, that's been taken off, so I'm going to take it away from there. As I say, a nice sharp knife is always the best thing to use. And there's a couple of little shoots on that bottom there. I'm going to leave them on. This way I pull the sage away. I'm just going to leave them shoots on, because they'll probably be the first things to root. So once again, nice and deep in the hole. Plant it in just up to the leaves, and they're fine. They'll root away quite easy. Now I've got the sage done. I've got the rosemary done. I've got some thyme there. I'm going to take some thyme cuttings later on, but for the time being I want to try and get these big ones out the road tonight. And as I say, I'm going to leave them little shoots on there, because they'll be the first to send the roots off. And as I say, they're a fantastic accompaniment to tomatoes. As I say, you can't do nothing better than that. And once again, a good watering, because it is a free draining mixture. As you see, the water's running straight through there, and that's the way it should be. Perfect. So you've had a good drink. All I've got to do now is sort the tray out. I've got one under here handy. Pop them in the tray. That's one. And these will go underneath the bench, out of direct sunshine. Once again, just give them a good spray, and then all I have to do is just every day lift the top off, check them to make sure they're not drying out, and just, as I say, give them a light spraying every day, and they'll be fine. So just pop them away under that bench here for the time being. Well pleased with them, and then we'll get started on some thyme. As I say, all the cuttings are exactly the same. If you just take your time with them, you don't need too much. You just need a couple inches, 2 or 3 inches. Trim the bottoms up, put away the side leaves, and you've got a perfect cutting. It's as simple as that. And the smell in here is absolutely amazing because I've been cutting the herbs in that, and of course the aroma is just absolutely beautiful. I love the herbs, but I love this time because of the year. This time of year you can start taking as many cuttings as you want and building your stock up for next year. Herbs is one of the easiest things to grow. You can still grow them from seed now, there's still plenty of time. Sown seed, parsley and whatnot. You can still get away with a late crop of that. But once I get my herbs built up into a bed, nice big plant, and it's an easy enough job to come round once, twice a year, take cuttings from them and replenish your stock. And you've always got extras to give away for family and friends. And that's the whole idea of it. Just building your stock up and having a few extras to give away. But yeah, that's my tips on the herbs. That's, as I say, that's a couple of my main jobs out of the way this week, is to get the cuttings off that. I've nearly finished the tomatoes. I've been right through them, trying to tie them all up, trying to take all the suckers from them, and then we can start feeding them next week. I've taken some comfrey up there in one of the big tanks. I've got 2 big plants of comfrey in there, and a bag full of nettles. And now that's getting stirred up, and with the heat the last couple of days, the smell of it already is fantastic. It's as strong as anything. So within a week or 2, that'll be fine for using, and I'll start feeding the tomatoes in that. Good high potash content, and that'll fatten the tomatoes up to no end. But once again, never start feeding till the tomatoes are setting, till you got your fruits on. A lot of people think I should start feeding straight away. Well, if you're feeding straight away, you're feeding your plant, not the fruit. You're just building your plant up, it's going to get bigger and bigger, and then without feeding the fruits. So wait until the fruit's set, and then your feed's going to where it's needed on your plant. But as I say, that's the herbs out the way. I'm going to get myself way back upstairs now and get this video online. I hope I've given you a few tips on the tomatoes and a few tips on the herbs. So as I say, keep on sharing, keep on subscribing. A few new subscribers coming on this week, so I'm pleased again, well pleased. I hope you're enjoying the plot, and I'm hoping we're giving you a few tips just to get on with. As I say, next week what I want to do is to get started on the onions. I'm getting the garlic lifted, so I'll get most of them cleaned up. But the main job next week is to get them Japanese onions lifted, and we'll get them cleaned and hung up in the sheds out of the light, and hopefully they'll give us a good crop right through the summer. But yeah, for the time being, I'm going to knock off and get myself way back upstairs and get this video online, and I hope to see you all up on the plot next week when we get started on the onions. Okay, so bye for now.